Hey, I'm JR and I'm here to talk to you today about Apple CarPlay. I've been using Apple CarPlay in my truck for a few years and it recently got an update from Apple. So it's gotten even better, and I'd like to show you all the ways Apple CarPlay helps you integrate your phone with your driving experience in the best and safest way possible. There's actually been a recent update to Apple CarPlay. Now, this is my phone. It's a new phone running the newest version of Apple's iOS software. I have an older phone here, which will use the older version of CarPlay. So I'd like to show you the differences from the older CarPlay to the newer CarPlay. So I'm just going to switch it real quick here on the radio so we can see what Apple CarPlay has looked like for the past several years. So this is the home screen of Apple CarPlay. It's looked like this basically since CarPlay was released out to the public, and it's pretty great. It shows you all the information on your phone, the apps you've recently accessed, and you've got a couple screens full of apps that you can get to. So music listening apps, navigation apps, your phone, your text messages, books, podcasts, all of that stuff very easily accessible from the touchscreen of your radio. And if you're used to using an Apple phone, it looks and feels like you would expect it to, because Apple designed the CarPlay software. And as great as it looks, the new version of CarPlay looks and works way better. So I'm going to switch it back now to my newer phone so we can see the improvements we get with Apple's new version of CarPlay. So as you can see, the screen looks a little bit different. In fact, it's lighter with a lighter background instead of a darker background. That's actually something you can adjust on the newer CarPlay. You can actually go to a settings menu. This did not exist previously in CarPlay, and it's settings specifically for this CarPlay radio in this vehicle. You can turn on Do Not Disturb while driving, so you're not barraged with text messages and such while you're driving. You can change the appearance so it adjusts automatically with this lighter background to a darker background, which looks more like CarPlay has looked for the last several years. I'm going to switch it back to automatic so that it responds to the daylight. It knows when I've turned the headlights on and off, and the radio will go light during the day where it looks a little bit easier to see in the sun, and at night it'll be dark so it's not blinding you while you're driving at night. As we go back to the home screen, there's a couple other things on CarPlay that didn't used to exist, like the calendar. If you use the calendar on your iPhone, you'll be able to see the events on your calendar right here in the calendar app on CarPlay. You can't go in and interact with it or add new events or edit or change anything. You can simply see what you've got going on today at a quick glance. Back on the home screen, one of the most exciting things about CarPlay is a new split view, and you can get there by either swiping left to get to the split screen, or at any point you can click this button right here and it takes you to a split screen. So on the left we have Apple Maps, and for right now the only Maps software that will show up in this split screen view is Apple Maps, not Google Maps or Waze. On the right side of our split screen, we're seeing Apple might give me suggestions on gas stations or places to go eat or drink, parking. Below that, an interface to interact with whatever I'm playing audio-wise right now. So in this case, I have a podcast that I have paused, but I could hit play on it. I can go forward or backward. I can even see the album art in this split screen view. And below that, if I have a current calendar event, it's showing me that as well. So this split screen view is pretty great. If I wanted to use the mapping software to navigate somewhere, I can simply touch there and I can search for destinations, get it all entered, and I can leave the map on this full screen view, or I can go back to the split screen view if I want to see multiple things going on at once. Let's talk about that album art for a second. This applies to podcasts. It applies to music playing on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever your music app of choice is, even Sirius XM with channel art. So before, the album art would appear in the background, kind of blurred. In fact, it's still doing that. You can see that here. However, you've also got a nice, brilliant version of the album art, so you can clearly see the art for what you are listening to. Again, whether it's music, podcasts, or anything else. One of my favorite updates on the new CarPlay is the ability for two things to be happening at the same time. On the old CarPlay, if you were, say, interfacing with your Spotify app, you would pull up your Spotify app on your phone. Maybe if you had your phone mounted on your dash where you could see it, if you go to Spotify here, you'd be looking at Spotify on your phone as well. Now, you can have two different things going on at the same time, and here's how I would suggest using that. Maybe the driver is using Apple Maps to navigate to a new destination. And maybe the passenger might like to change songs or search for a new artist to listen to on Spotify or Apple Music. Well, now that can be done. The passenger can be over here searching for a song to play while the Maps screen is still on display for the driver to see. This was not possible in the old CarPlay. It is a big time upgrade that I think is going to prove very useful to be able to have something separate going on your iPhone screen than what's going on the CarPlay screen. So the radio I'm doing this on here in this truck is a JVC. It is the KWV 950BW, and it is a wireless CarPlay radio. You may have noticed these phones are not plugged in to this radio. Now I do have that option. This can do wired CarPlay if I wanted to plug it in, which would be smart, especially if I'm on a long drive, because that would keep my phone charged while doing all of this cool stuff on my drive. However, if I've just got a quick drive to the store or a short commute to work, I may not always want to plug my phone in. And so a lot of radios now do CarPlay wirelessly. It connects to the phone using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and it's pretty seamless. Once you get your phone working with the radio, it just comes right up when you get in, and it's just wonderful to have it work so simply. There is one thing you should know when installing a radio like this. There's going to be a couple extra wires over and above a standard basic car stereo. Because it has a touch screen, there's a backup camera. You might have a reverse wire so that the radio knows when you're backing up and switches to the camera input. There's a parking brake wire to make sure that the radio knows when you're parked and when you're driving so that it can safely display video only when you're parked. And there's a vehicle speed sensor wire, which that combined with a GPS antenna helps the mapping applications on your phone to be more accurate, to more accurately know your position and where you are on the road and where you're going. So in some radios with wireless CarPlay, you will have to connect the vehicle speed sensor wire. It's not a huge deal, but it will have to be done if you want to go completely wireless with CarPlay. If you need any help doing that after you purchase your radio from Crutchfield, you get free lifetime tech support. Just call us. Our tech support people will get you through it. So those are the updates to Apple CarPlay. I'm very excited about it. I've been doing CarPlay with my phone in my truck for the last few years, and it's only gotten better over time. So thank you, Apple, for the updates to Apple CarPlay. So I hope this helps understand just how awesome CarPlay is. I think it's the safest way to integrate your phone with your car. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, please put those questions in the comments. We do pay attention to those, and we try to answer those whenever possible. And also, of course, hit like on the videos. It really helps people find our videos and helps us know what exactly people are looking for here on YouTube. Thanks for watching.